Do we think this lighting is okay? Should I move over somewhere else? Look at my Sailor Moon shirt. Does that help at all? I don't think so. I need like a different, what's it called, thumbnail than what I normally do. What month is this? I have no idea. We're improvising as we go, as per usual. March. This was March. There's my March colors. Woo! I did orange and purple. I thought it was really cute. I did really well on my reading pages. Had a lot of fun. I was very ambitious. Not a lot to say though, apparently. It's gonna help me later. Here's the stack. It's upside down as per usual. Gotta flip it. Hope for the best as per usual. Oh, maybe I will hold this up. Flippity flip flop. Whoosh it. I did it. Oh, this is gonna be fun to edit later. I'm not ready. What did I read in March? I don't remember. It's almost the end of April right now. I had an okay reading month. It was either meh or amazing, apparently. But I did read 8 books, one of them being a textbook, which I will tell you about. It's at the end. Good news. I remember what happened this month. I went a little crazy. So we'll get there. But the first book, just to dive right in, I read was City of Fallen Angels. This is book 4 in the Mortal Instruments series by Cassandra Clare. This was the worst one. I gave it 3 stars. I've been thinking about demoting it a star. It was bad. It was really bad. If you would like to hear my full thoughts, the Parabatai group talked about this for an hour with Clockwork Angel, which I enjoyed a lot more than this. It was over on Andy's channel, so you can definitely check that out. A live stream. It was great, fantastic. I don't want to talk about it anymore, so I'm not going to. The next book I also gave 3 stars, which was like meh. This was Tempted by PC Cast and Kristen Cast. This is the House of Night series. This is the 6th book. I'm 6 books in. Oh my gosh. Okay, this one I enjoy a little bit more because Stark is here. He's kind of here. He's around, which is really nice. He does really great things by the end of it. They work really hard. I don't remember the plot of this book right now. Why I gave this one only 3 stars is because I do not like Stevie Ray's point of view. I love Stevie Ray as a character. She's an amazing best friend, has a better thought process towards people than Zoe does, which is very nice and refreshing. However, I don't want to read from her point of view. I never have. I never liked it. Just throws the book. This is like my 4th reading of this book. But it gets better because the book after this one is my favorite one, which I still haven't picked up yet, but it is my favorite book in the entire series, and then after that it just falls off again. So everything like builds up to the 7th book and then just falls off again, you know? But yeah, it's here. Stevie Ray had some issues. Saving one of the Raven mockers. We don't like that. We don't stand that. The next book I gave 4 stars, and it is Recreated by Colleen Hewitt. I know that's not how you say her last name. I've been reminded that several times recently. This is one of my favorite series from her. Second favorite series, I guess. This one follows Lillian, or Lily as we like to call her, and she has found out that the love of her life has left the afterlife and is pursuing just his own demise, which is not acceptable because the gods need him and they need to use him, and they can't lose him yet because he took the Eye of Horus with him, and that's also just not allowed. So they send Lillian to the afterlife, to this terrible place, to save him, basically, to get him back. But she has to go on this whole adventure first before she even gets there, which is really just fun. Fun fact, when I read this trilogy, I read them out of order. You would think that the gold one would be last, but it's not, it's second. I messed up, and I read about 5 chapters of the 3rd book and was like, what the heck is going on? Before I was like, oh, I'm reading the wrong book. They're out of order. And then went back to this one. So it's nice and refreshing to actually read them in order this time, you know? But this is great. I gave it 4 stars. I would probably reread it again. Also, it's like gold, right? But the thing is blue underneath. That was just, but they have really pretty spines. Like, look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous, darling. We love it. Anyways, these are just like pretty books. Like, what? Man, so good. The next 2 books I read in exactly, I want to say maybe 4 days. I had to pace myself and make myself go slower, otherwise it would have been 2 days. But I read The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. I finally acquired these books, the whole trilogy, and they're lovely, beautiful. They're actually first edition. I bought them at the bookstore and they were on for $10, and I got all 3 on like sale or something, and I ended up spending like $6 for all 3 books, which was like wild. I should have bought the 4th one as well, but I didn't because I'm an idiot. If you don't know what The Hunger Games is about, where have you been? But I read this because my friend Dimitri has a book club that he does with, oh my gosh, what are their names? I am not sure. Rewind Book Club is what they're called on Twitter, and they do reading sprints, and they were doing Hunger Games first, and I picked it up and put it down in 2 days, and then watched the movie in those 2 days as well. And then I also read in another 2 days and watched the movie Catching Fire, because I literally have no self-control. The first 2 books are amazing, and I do remember loving them a whole lot, and I did love them again because I read The Hunger Games in the 10th grade. My teacher was retiring from teaching English that year, and she was like, let's do something crazy. Let's not read To Kill a Mockingbird. Let's read The Hunger Games. And then that was the year that the movie came out, so we went as a class to go see the movie like opening day. Opening night. She bought us tickets in the AVX theater so that we had seats all together, and we like booked our seats, and it was crazy. So that was really fun. And then I think when we read it, we started reading The Hunger Games, and I think about not even halfway, I want to say like a third of the way through, I finished Catching Fire and Mockingjay because my friend owned the other 2, and I just sped through it. I sped through these as well, and I left the Mockingjay because I was like, you need to slow down, you need to participate with the reading club. I tried my best. The next book I read has been a long time coming, and I'm sorry to say that I finished it. I literally had to get the audiobook from Libby so that I could finish it because I was being tortured, and I ended up giving it 3 stars, and it was Midnight Sun. I was trying to use the same color sticky note, and I ran out of yellow sticky notes, so I just switched to orange. I will be talking about this book along with Twilight and Life and Death in a video all in of itself eventually when I finish Life and Death. I have been reading that, but oh my god, I cannot stand being in Edward's head, and I hope I never have to again because it was so bad. It was so bad. I had so many issues with it. How many sticky notes are in this thing? I thought Bella's point of view was awful, but this was just, I hated the pomegranate. I hated that he kept making references to Persephone and the pomegranate, mostly because Persephone is not an idiot, and she definitely most likely would have known what she was doing, and she would have done it on purpose, and that is what I fully believe. So stop with the references. Oh, it was awful. Anyways. The most exciting part about this entire book, spoiler alert, we all know what Twilight's about, was the car chase. When Edward is rushing from the airport to the ballet studio to save Bella. That was the most exciting part of the entire book. If you know, you know. It was very weird. I will talk about it in a full video though. That's why I'm not saying a whole lot, because I want to save it for that video. You know, you feel, I was just like, I don't know, let's pick a random sticky note and go to it. How about that? Just like somewhere over here. What does this one say? Oh, Southern clans claimed like Arizona and stuff. So he didn't want to go to Phoenix because there was aggressive Southern clans. Which, I want to know where the vampires are. Like, you do talk about the clans and stuff, and there's Alaska's really nice clan, and you guys have a nice clan, and there's a Volturi and stuff, but how do you know there's aggressive Southern clans? That's a question that I have, thanks to this book. I do think about that sometimes. Like, it's a good one to pick, actually. Aggressive Southern clans. It's a little too close. Why are they afraid of them? What do they do? Are they vampire cannibals? That would be an interesting plot. Please don't take my idea. I'm watching you. I said it first. You heard it. What day is today? Today is Saturday, April 24th. I guessed it. Vampire cannibals. 2021. Quote me. The next book I read, I gave 5 stars, and I cannot stop thinking about it, and it is A Sky Beyond the Storm by Sabaa Tahir. Not only is this a beautiful purple color, but dude, this was so good. This was like refreshing and amazing, and I didn't even realize why I thought this was refreshing and amazing until after I watched, oh my gosh, what's her name? I can't remember anybody's name in this. Somebody did a reading vlog of this. Who was it? Who was the reading vlog? Clockwork Reader? Clockwork Reader. It was definitely her, I think. Yes. She did a read of this, and she was like, it was refreshing because there was a happy ending. And I was like, oh my god, that's totally what it was. It was a happy ending. Oh, and I still would die for Helene. I, like, literally would die for her. She's, like, the best. So basically, Elias has lost himself, and Lila would like to find him, and she's trying her best, and she's doing so good. And Helene is just trying not to fall apart at everything, and she suffers some more. And I would die for Helene. Oh my gosh. It makes me want to cry. She does so good. There's like a lot more history about like what happened to it. I really appreciated that. And I liked more storytelling and finding out who the, oh my gosh, what's his name? The Nightbringer. We learned a lot more about the Nightbringer, and we learned about his wife, and we learned, oh, it was so good. So good. And I loved it. And like looking back, and this started off like so like subtle and like small-minded, and then it just like, not in a bad way, but like the issues they had were so tiny at the beginning of the series, and then by this one, oh my gosh, the issues, too many. That's what that was, and I loved it. It was so good. Please read this series. Oh my gosh, not only is it gorgeous, but it is amazing, and it has a happy ending. It has a happy ending. I love it. And the, what is it, 8th and final book that I read was actually a textbook, but it is The Inconvenient Indian. Ugh, I cannot speak. The Inconvenient Indian, A Curious Account of Native People in North America by Thomas King. This may sound a little bit weird to you. The cover is like a dude and a cruise ship. I just like, what was the boat called again? This was my textbook for my Indigenous Studies class, one of the 2 textbooks that I had to read. And this was amazing. I think this is like one of the best things that I had to read for a class. It starts off with Thomas King saying that he can't call this a history of Native people in North America. That's why he calls it a curious account, because he doesn't put it in like footnotes or whatever. But he does talk about like how he knows all this information and stuff. And there is like an index in the back so you can go find stuff. And he did like so well telling stories, and like the motifs of the dead Indian in here was just like, oh my gosh, I never like thought it in that perspective before, but once it was like put into this perspective, like the entire class just like clicked and made sense as to why we are doing this. And I've heard, so the Alberta curriculum has since changed in the last little bit for K-12, and it's not good. It's not a good change. It's a joke. It's a real joke. Like, even the grammar and spelling in it is incorrect. It's not good. It's really not good. I've seen so many like videos and TikToks and Facebook posts and tweets and just people roasting it because whoever wrote it is an idiot, basically. Not to mention some of the things you have to learn about are useless, which is ridiculous. But aside from that, I know that there have been a lot of TikToks out there that have been saying that currently they are learning about residential schools as a positive note towards Indigenous people, and they're not positive. It was like 100 years of awful fuck-ups that we need to fix, and just the worst history ever, and they're just glazing it over and telling kids that it was fine and they loved it and it was a good thing. Which is why I find it really important that we need to read shit like this, because then you get the real history. And if I ever have kids, they are 110% reading this, because I do not trust the curriculum in this province. I'm not, like, what am I gonna do? I'm leaving the province, literally, because this is just turning into a shit show that I don't want to be a part of anymore, because they're fucking it up so bad. Like, there was no way to fix it after that. Like, the only way I would do is if I ran against Jason Kenny, and we all know I'm not fucking winning. So, it was just like, this entire class was amazing, and I 10 out of 10 recommend anybody ever to take this class, because it's like eye-opening and amazing. Like amazing. I now have an entire book list full of books that my teacher has recommended by Indigenous authors that I will be reading. So stick with me through that. I will give you all the book recommendations. And this was like one of my favorite reads, I think, of the year. It was so good. Please read this. And this is not just Canada, this is North America. So if you want to know, this is a good place to start. Okay? This is a good place to start. There's another book that I finished technically in April, and I will be talking about it in my April wrap-up. That was my other textbook that I had to read, which was also a really good place to start. But I'll tell you about it then. But thank you so much for watching my April wrap-up. Oh, no, this is March wrap-up. We're still in April. I'm just like super chaotic, hyper and stuff, and I just need to sleep. I need to go to bed. I've had a rough day. I will not lie about that. I literally was like, I don't want to do anything except for school work that I fucked up on. So I will do that instead. So instead of fixing my life a little bit, I was like, let's just film my March wrap up so I can put these books away and make it look nice. But that's where I'm at. Let me know what your favorite book that you read in March was. If I look back at my list, I'm gonna have to say both of these. Because they were the only ones I gave 5 stars to, but like probably this one, because this was really good and I would definitely even read it again. It was really, really fun. And they do have an audiobook, so if you want to listen to it instead, that's available for you. But yeah, definitely these two were my favorite books of March. Let me know what yours was. I would love to know. Thank you so much for watching, and tune in for another wrap-up soon. I only do wrap-ups because I really don't like TBRs. I like hearing what people think after, because if you're going to tell me, I think I'm going to feel this, and then it's going to change in your wrap-up, I'm going to be thoroughly disappointed. So just tell me what you think about it after you read it, you know? And that's why I do this. I think I've said that before, but that's fine. I'm just rambling for time. I also think this is the longest wrap-up I've ever done. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you again soon, hopefully. Bye!